I'm Cody Wilson, friend of Sam, and I guess in relevant regards to what we're doing here, I'm the writer, director, producer of a little indie called Lesions.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about Lesions.
Lesions is currently on its festival circuits. Spent the last about 3 years working on it, which was not the plan. But that's how long it took. And then I heard from others that that's actually kind of fast. So I don't know. I could just rabbit trail over and over again. So I'll try not to do that. But yeah, it was cool. I was approaching my mid-30s, and I realized, at least I told myself it was now or never to go for something like that. Although maybe relevant to some stuff that you and I had discussed before, I don't know if I would go right for a feature again. If I was starting over today, probably web series or this is so uncool because the Garage Band blew up and now everybody knows about them. But I was sharing Curry Barker videos with people a few years ago when the feature started getting hard, and I was like, "Ugh, this looks so fun. I'd rather be doing this. This looks so fun and low stress. Just 90 seconds of having a blast with your friends. There's some funny cuts, no pressure, Instagram, no music rights, no nothing. Just put it up there and have a laugh and start over next week." And then, the rest is obsession history at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've successfully wandered off the path already.
Well, Lesions is, and I'm not just blowing smoke, like, it's awesome. It's a great movie. I got to work on it, and it was awesome getting to work on it.
Did you get to watch it at that very first festival in Nevermore? Did you actually get to sit in there and watch it?
I sat down and enjoyed every second of it. It was just like a lot of fun.
That's cool.
I mean, we worked so hard on it.
It's a different
for so
experience
long.
in a theater. It's neat.
Yeah, and I only got to work on it for like 6 months. I think we worked together on it, something like that. And
yeah,
I was still like really, really invested and really excited about it. So
it's cool seeing it in a theater. My legs were sore the next day because I was kicking the iron rails in front of me so hard because the sound was too low. Yeah.
And that's something that only you will really notice. No one else is going to notice, because I didn't pick up on it. I thought it
does make a difference, though, if your movie's quieter and you think it's going to be loud.
Yeah.
Which, you hear for years, sound this and sound that. Mm-hmm. But boy, when you're really in it, you're begging for that sound to be at the quality you wanted it to be.
Right.
But that was really just a DCP issue. We would later discover export settings on DCPs, all these fun things that I never knew existed that I've had to learn.
Awesome. Well, let's go into talking about what you've learned. And so the whole point of this series is we're going to help. I want to help other filmmakers be able to know what it's like to get their indie across the finish line like you have. So can you just kind of, in however many details you want, just kind of walk us through the process you went through? We can go pre-production, post, and kind of just give us a little insight about how it went.
So get the indie across the finish line?
Yeah.
Or get it going?
Well, a little bit of both, I think. So tell us where you started with your idea. And then if you don't mind bringing us through the...
No, I don't mind, because that's what I would want to know too. And to be frank and fair, that's the stuff I used to listen for.
Yeah.
And I would hate when somebody would just gloss over it. And that would kind of make me suspicious, and I'd be like, "You're not saying how you got your movie funded. I think your uncle did it," or something like that, which is great. If somebody has family that's willing to hook them up, I think it's great. It just means that they have family members who worked hard and are willing, and want to, bless up down the line of their family members. I think it's great. I don't really punch down at people for having the resources to follow their dreams. But for me, did not have that. And to give you the thing that I think I would want to hear, the ones and zeros truth is I had a short film from film school that was too ambitious, which is kind of unfortunately becoming a theme of mine. I didn't think that it could successfully become a good short film. So I said, I need to turn this into momentum. So I chopped it up into a proof of concept trailer. Excuse me. I'm not the first person to do that. Um, Although I didn't know any other people had done it, I would just later hear over the years. I was like, oh, I'm not so special. This is actually a thing. Of course, people would want to salvage their work. So that's what I was doing. I was kind of trying to salvage all that hard work, and I turned it into a proof of concept trailer and a campaign. The pandemic would hit, which threw a real wrench in things. By the time I had a couple of versions of those trailers ready, and that really slowed things down. And right around that time, I was watching Jim Cummings because I'd seen his Thunder Road short, then went to feature, and then he and his buddies were doing their next feature, which was called the beta test, and they used a platform called WeFunder, which is equity crowdfunding. I wouldn't recommend it because it's too much trouble. And I did all this prep and all this, pitch packets, and which is good practice. It's all catch-22, right? Like, it sucks because it's not filmmaking. Kind of takes it back to the Curry Barker thing, right? Like, instead of doing all this other stuff, you could just get right to the filmmaking, and then other people who are more interested in said business stuff can handle all that for you. But I'll digress, probably not for the last time. I do all the things I need to do to learn about equity crowdfunding, and I spend maybe like a couple years getting ready for that campaign. And then I run that campaign, and that's in 2021. So things are still quite sticky.
Yeah.
And we raised $87,000. And that was huge. That was awesome. That was great. But even knowing what I knew then, having produced commercials with Cry, that I knew that was not enough to deliver on the thing I said I was going to deliver on. So I did a very transparent but ballsy, can I say ballsy?
You can say ballsy.
Ballsy move. I returned everybody's money with a letter, and I said, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's not enough to do justice by the thing you invested in. However, I am going to turn around and try to do something that's smaller in scale, and I'd love your support on that. If you're interested, reach out to me and let me know. One of those contributors reached out. I don't know how much he wants to be mentioned, so I'll just wait. It's all in the film. It's all in Lesions credits. It is the company that's going to be pushing Lesions, which is run by the guy, the man. And he reached out and he was like, well, I'm interested in supporting you because I liked the proof of concept trailer, and I think I like the way that you're presenting things. So we talked a lot. We had a few phone calls. And I had fielded a lot of phone calls at that point. And I get really tired of talking to people about, they just want to make stuff, and that's great, but you have to learn how to separate who wants to talk about making stuff and who's going to be a doer.
Right.
And who's going to do something for you. Because there's a lot of people that kind of want to hitch their car to your wagon. They want to be there, but they're not actually bringing anything to the table. I'll say it and sound like the weenie so that you don't have to. It's just a brutal truth. There's a lot of people, and they'll drum up excitement. They're like, yeah, we got to do this. And you're like, yeah, we do. What are you doing? And they're like, oh, anyway, that's just, again, another rabbit trail aside. But my guy was not that guy. He was serious, and he meant business. And he was like, what can you do? So I shared the ideas that I had. He really liked one of them, which I still like. And I said, I actually like that idea so much. It's like a ghost story. I was like, I like that one so much, I'd like to save it for the sophomore film. Can we do something else? Can I just develop something new with you? And he said, yeah. So we started with a very small, ultra low budget. It gradually kept getting walked up, but he stayed on board with me. Kind of kept walking it up after that. Once I was like, oops, I'm in trouble. I was just wrong on a few things there. And I had actually produced commercials for years, getting ready for this, intentionally getting ready for this. And I was like, I'm the guy. I will do this right and better. Not filmmaking, but like being able to produce the film, on time, on budget, and do it seriously. And I still ended up in unpredictable situations that cost money to fix over and over and over again. Thankfully, I had the support that I needed. And when I say money, it's not like we ended, it will forever be an ultra low budget territory,
right,
but it still kept walking up a little bit. But the clear cut truth is it was pitch video for one thing, to showcase probably the ability to generate hype with communicating some quality. That was the vehicle. being on an investor platform so that other investors could see that thing, to then approach the type of person who would want to have those discussions. It wasn't like a dentist. It wasn't grandpa or like uncle or somebody, or, companies like that. It wasn't going around and pitching a bunch of car lots in town and saying, if I use your location. I'm just kind of running down the list of things other people have said you can do, but I've never actually heard people do that work. It's kind of like the professor standing in front of the room saying, you could do this to get funded. Like,
Right.
that's adorable. Have you seen that happen before? Have you actually seen that get you across the line, as you might have said? So
Yeah.
no, it was literally developing a fully packaged pitch, bringing it to an equity crowdfunding platform. And I invested, by the way, in the beta test, Jim Cummings' other film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've received more than like $25 from that investment. I think I put like 200 in. That's bad. I'm not trying to throw shade at them, but I don't think they care. He's so famous now.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know what that means about what they made back, because I haven't bothered to go look at the numbers. So I'm not even saying this also might be an outdated tactic. But if you don't know people with money, it's a way to cast a wide net to people who are looking to invest in things. Maybe there's a new version of WeFunder. Maybe there's another more interesting thing. Maybe it's uploading to social media. But that's how that was the inception of Lesions as a financially possible opportunity.
That's awesome. Like
that was so long-winded. I'm sorry. I've never practiced that out loud.
I love that. Like, there's not a lot of people who, we were talking about this before. There's like not a lot of people who talk about this stuff, right? Like there's a lot of people who just go about, it's this idea of, just go ask people, go to that car lot and see if you could film and get them to pay,
And let's come back to asking people, by the way, too. But I was strictly talking about financing.
Right.
Because to kind of do a bit of I don't know what to call it. I'm not going to bother coming up with an analogy to visualization of what this means. Let's just say running alongside the investment, it was asking people like you and 30 other people.
Right.
I said, hey, I'm making this. And then I would show you, and kind of like the same thing I did with you, I did with everybody else on the crew. I would just kind of slide my 75-page Bible and script across the table, and I would say, here's all the prep that I've done. I've done all the work that I possibly can. I would just like collaborators and to contribute to it. You do what you're good at. Just do these things that I've written, plus whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And we'll make it work. So there's no way it would have worked without every single person who was on it giving more. Like nobody got some commercial rate check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really was like a wonderful. That's when working with people over the years was great, because I was able to call everybody and I was able to say, hey, Brian, like, are you ready? Is your grip truck doing anything this month?
Right.
Are you willing to do this? And everybody gave me a very reasonable rate. It was also, we also filmed during the writer's strike too.
Yeah.
When I talk about unfortunate convenience, I had a lot of talented people who were sitting on their hands, not able to do anything. So by the film being non-union across the board, nobody's violating anything. We're shooting in Virginia. People are kind of like angry, because of the work situation. So people were ready to work. Like, don't tell me not to work. Like it was a bit of a trifecta of things happening with all that. But yes, that is literally how it happened.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate that. Yeah, Escape Pod is also very similar to that. Like it is just us working in a hot basement on the spaceship that I built down there, and everyone is getting paid in pizza and Subway, right? We are extremely low budget, but it's just like the collaboration is so important, I think, in filmmaking.
Yeah.
And
I'm just curious with the people coming on board, because I know for me with my prep with Lesions, I had everyone's, in a way that almost made this fun is, this kind of goes back to when you say, how did this work a little bit? It actually made the writing a little bit better, because I had in mind that I was going to ask for help.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to ask Rachel for some wardrobe help, then I know I'm asking for help. So then I think, well, I've got to make this character kind of do something quirky or do something with their clothes a little bit. Or if I'm asking Ori for some masks, it's like, well, this guy's going to go to all the trouble to make killer masks. I need to really like give him some cool inspiration.
Yeah.
It's like I sent him some pictures of some like anti-poacher art exhibit from South Africa or something where they put human faces on animal bodies and they were so freaky.
Yeah.
And I was like, see this taxidermy thing? Let's do that on one of them. So like giving people something to latch onto and like showcase their talent in ways that, let's say, a bank commercial won't let them do or something, then that actually helps supplement payment that you don't have, is when you give people something to work on where they're like, oh, I really want to show people my stuff, what I can do here, and this is an opportunity to do it. That's another like trick.
Yeah.
Quote trick, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we do something similar with Escape Pod. So all of our writers basically, Escape Pod is so like each episode is its own episode. There's not a whole lot of story throughout the season. So each writer really gets to do, I mean, I give them like, hey, here's like 3 plot points that needs to happen in this episode. But other than that, go crazy. Write your episode that you want to write, that you find fun. And then it needs to have a guest star on it. So we've gotten to work with some really awesome guest stars. So like last season, we had Dropout TV's Rekha Shankar on the show. And that was awesome. Okay. And that was our like first choice for that writer. That writer really wanted to work with Rekha. Like just imagined it from the beginning. And then we got to work with Rekha, and it was an awesome experience. And then later on in the series, we had Clint McElroy. This season, we have Matt Mercer, which is an awesome get. So we're trying to like make it exciting for everyone to work on set, and as exciting as, you know, we're trying to spread our $2,000 budget for 8 episodes of a web series as far as it'll go. And honestly, it's made a huge difference on set.
Yeah. Well, you're pretty capable. I mean, I assume you've pretty much got all the tech stuff handled.
Yeah, definitely. And then we shoot on Red, so everyone who has like any production experience gets really excited that they get to shoot on Red for this dinky little web series. And our sound for season 1 was not very good because the preamps of our recorder died in the middle of the season. So then it was all just like hissy and it was terrible to work with. But this season, we upgraded all of our audio equipment. And then I also do this thing because I have all the equipment. I allow any of my crew to just rent out my equipment. Like if they come help me on set, if my sound recordist needs to go work on a job over here and needs to borrow some equipment. Oh, I'm giving a thumbs up now.
I know, it's so funny. Right?
If my recording artist needs to go work on a job, they're welcome to borrow my equipment for a week because I'm not.
It's a good exchange,
and so it does end up being a pretty good exchange for them. So, but like things like that, I think are the way of doing ultra low budget. Like if you genuinely can't afford to hire anyone, like
And you guys, every episode in the pod?
Yes, and it makes so that makes it a lot easier too.
Yeah,
we crank out 2 episodes on a recording day, which is crazy. We shot 4 episodes over a weekend a couple weeks ago for season 2, and we shot 50 pages of script in 2 days, which was absolutely insane. We didn't really realize it, and then at the end of the day on Sunday, we held up all the script that we had shot, and we were like, "Oh my god, how did we do all this?"
That's impressive.
Yeah, no.
I'd be curious to see your rig. Like I assume you have spots and slots all around your pod for the camera placements, right?
No. What I do is I
figured you had little holes and panels you were taking in and pulling out for different camera angles.
No, because we need to because I'm asking people to donate their time, right? So I need to make this as fast as possible, and pulling out panels and pulling out this and that. We don't have time for that. So what I have is my Red flying on a jib that just exists in the center of the escape pod. And then that jib has a Ronin on it, attached to it. Okay. So I sit in the back and I control it with a little PS4 controller that can do. Cool. Yeah, I mean it handles. I can record remotely. I can adjust my angle and I can pan with it. I can change
Yeah.
focus with it. So I sit off the set with my with my little PS4 controller, and we just adjust the jib throughout the day. And sometimes we'll run a B cam, so then we have to figure out like the exact right angle we can do to have A and B camera rolling at the same time. So it is kind of a production nightmare, but it's also kind of fun to figure out all of the ways to make this work.
What's the theme of the show?
It's very Gilligan's Island-esque.
I guess I mean, is there a certain, trying to find another word for theme, but is there a other than the concept?
Yeah.
Because I would say that's more concept. Is there like a theme that you kind of come back to with each episode, or do you guys kind of go all over with episodes, like different moods, different days, different discussion topics kind of thing?
It's all it's all about these two characters who are so...
Sorry for putting you on the spot.
No, this is great. I love it.
Okay.
You're interviewing me at this point.
Yeah.
It's all about these two characters who have nothing in common and honestly don't get along very well. Mm-hmm. Kind of realizing that they need each other and showcasing that need for each other and how much they love each other as like people. And like, there's no romance. There's no romance to it. There's nothing beyond just like the love that people have for each other. Yeah. And that's kind of what the show is about. It's about learning to love a complete stranger and working with them.
Yeah.
Even if you have nothing in common.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to take too much liberties with the discussion here, but let's assume you needed to cut it off soon. I would say that I'm glad this kind of accidentally happened in the discussion. One of the only other things that I've seen fire people up to help beyond what's in it for them, what's in it for their portfolio, or ROIs on, finances, creative, social clout, what have you, is actually a theme, not a concept. A theme. Concepts, obviously, actually, but concepts are kind of a dime a dozen.
Right.
And you see great concepts all the time. And then with AI, people can just prompt it and it's out there. So I don't think we're going to see people getting movie deals off concepts anymore. Right. When somebody can just AI Goku versus Superman now and put it on Instagram in a day.
Yeah.
But theme is something that, brings people in. If they can kind of get behind the why you're doing what you're doing, hey, this is a story about this. If you make that theme universal, which is good practice just for the long run, because if you can make the theme something that's relatable enough to make people want to help, you've probably made it relatable enough for the audience out there that wants to connect with that theme. Like that ghost story I told you about, there's no script for that. And probably 10 times the people who know about it, they'll be like, oh yeah, I love that script. And I just kind of look at them and I'm like, do you? But it's just because I've told them the story and what that main theme is. If it's the right thing, people kind of get pumped about it. So that's another, I guess, maybe secret, sneaky, productive, healthy way to get your project going.
All right.
That's the theme of this discussion, right?
Yeah, that is the theme.
Theme. How many? Sorry.
Oh man. Well, I have really, really enjoyed our conversation. I want to ask if you have any other like parting thoughts or any other bits of wisdom you'd like to share with any young budding filmmakers.
No, I don't. Well, maybe I can't tell until it works. I've been proven wrong. I guess back to the whole Curry Barker obsession thing.
Yeah.
He proved something of mine wrong that I was really into. Well, like with Lesions, I was like, I have to go crazy because nobody cares who I am. Because I'm not going to have names, I'm not going to have money, I'm not going to have this, I'm not going to have that. Well, they, with their $1 million movie, obviously disproved that.
Yeah.
With no-name actors. Now, obviously, you take in the X million followers, from TikTok. That helps.
Yeah.
But I would say I just don't know if features are worth. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze today. I think I would be gunning for the not shorts to enter into the film festival circuit and spend $2,000 of your own money on submissions and waiting for almost an entire year to see if you get into festival. Because then what? And I'll tell you, as somebody who's been to a few, then what? You know what happens then? A bunch of people come up and they say your movie's awesome, and that's it. And we've had 2 people approach us. Great. They could have done that online.
Yeah.
They did do it online. Actually, the 2 people who approached me couldn't even watch Lesions at Panic Fest in Kansas City. They said, oh, let's connect. I want to talk about it later. Shared a secure link, with them because they wanted to have those discussions. So, you put your stuff out online, forget all this like gate, and it really is gatekeeping. I don't care. This is my subjective opinion. It is gatekeeping because there are festivals that I thought I would have to say no to that rejected us. And there are festivals I submitted to that I thought, well, there's not a chance. And they've said yes. Like London, like Fright Fest in London. I was like, well, whatever. I'll just try it because somebody said this is the biggest horror one in the UK. And maybe here's to hoping. And they really like it. It just doesn't make any sense. And then and even then with London, that's cool. I don't know what type of discussions we're going to have there, but it's really fast. Uploading to Instagram, probably TikTok more valuable than Instagram. So I don't know, man. I think for me, if I could spread the money out responsibly, I'd probably be regularly just uploading stuff today. And I don't think that should be discouraging. I actually think it should be encouraging because even Hollywood's kind of struggling to put out, quote, Hollywood is struggling to put out good movies right now. They're having a real identity crisis, and you can see just the way they talk about, oh gosh, I've said Curry Barker 4 or 5 times now, but the way that like Jason Blum and them talk about it. Well, now you've got people commenting on how they talk about it. And people are starting to realize, they're like, I don't know, maybe only 45-year-olds watched He-Man growing up. And maybe there's a reason that all the young kids didn't go out to see it. I've actually heard it's fun, but like didn't draw anybody.
Right.
So I'm just saying there's a huge identity crisis right now. So I would have, if it's me today, 10 years ago, I'm having fun just going straight for the internet.
Yeah.
No short film festivals, maybe just a couple for the experience, if that's what I need to do. It worked years ago. Again, so I'm sure there's a lot of people who be like, oh yeah, well, so-and-so did this. And I'd say, that's great. When did that happen? When did that work? Was that 2016 that started their career? It's 2026. Things are different. Yeah. So I think I would do what you're doing, actually.
All right.
I'm not just saying that because it's you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that sentiment. All right.
Sorry, one more tangible.
Yeah,
here's what.
absolutely.
I'm going to give one example. Music licensing. If you want to make films, I welcome you to hell. If you think you want to have a song that you like in your movie, good curse word luck, because you are in hell. You are in hell, and you have to learn about all this music licensing stuff. I'm learning language and I'm messaging these people to just use songs, and it was awful. The best thing that happened to me was some of these big heavy metal bands just said yes because they thought the movie was cool.
Yeah.
And I was able to skip the process for all but one of them. It's awful. You know what you do if you like a song on Instagram? Put it on there. That's it. And that's what I mean. And then your talent gets showcased, and you don't spend months becoming, talking to Claude to double check yourself while talking to the... Ugh, see what I mean? What I mean? That's just one example. And there's like 10 things like that with filmmaking. If you want to follow the rules, it's in trouble, man. Yeah. It's in trouble. The traditional way is in trouble. So that's what I'm saying. You want to get that thing going. And then, sorry.
No, you're
triple,
good.
Quadruple aside, full circle, all the way full circle. If you do the thing online and it's cool, the people who handle that stuff, just like Curry Barker and them, will handle it for you.
Yeah.
Not he himself. People will swoop in and go, don't you worry. You just make your next thing. We'll ride your coattails.
Yeah.
Okay. I've clearly got a lot that I've held in.
Good
now that the movie
session.
Is done. Now that we're starting to release this thing, I need to go back to like kickboxing or something. Let it out.
Hey, absolutely. Put the Lesions poster on some sort of dummy that you can.
I'm gonna put music licensing on the dummy.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. All right. Well, Cody, thank you so much for talking to us. Can you tell us where we can find you on? We got to do with the social media plugs. You got to tell me where we can find more about Lesions, more about you.
Mostly on Instagram. I have to check my name because I just changed it to something more mature instead of my. Yep. Now it's just Cody CODEY.S.Wilson on Instagram, and then at Lesions Movie.
All right.
Right now. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cody. I really appreciate it. This has been a great discussion. I am encouraged about the future. I think what we're doing, low budget, I think that's the future of cinema. And I think what we're doing is awesome. And I hope it gets easier for us as independent, as the world figures out more of like what the independent movie really is now in 2026. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And
yeah, man.
I'll talk to you next time.